today on 32 days of driving safe, 22 days of not backing accidents, getting out and looking, doing your part. Hey, thank you for doing what you do. 10-year anniversary week. It's a pretty special week. Good morning to you, Mr. Drive Safe. How are you doing?
I'm doing good this morning. Very, very excited to be here. Yes. It is on the 10-year week. Still celebrating. I didn't wear a BCB thing today. I wore yesterday. I put on 2, and they were too small.
You know what that happens? Those shirts, they just shrink a lot, right? Yeah. Them shirts are shrinking. So
yeah, I tried to put them on.
Wash it in cold water. There you go. Wash it in cold water. Hey, a lot of big news that came out yesterday. You know, for us Texans, probably nothing bigger than that mask mandate by the governor.
Being lifted
without a, so
I guess we're cured.
Yeah, I know, right? And to me, that is just crazy. I mean,
why would you do it?
It's still real, right? I mean, so listen, you have to still wash your hands. I mean, so many of us still, haven't gotten the shots. I have done my registration. I'm weeks away, they said. I got an email yesterday from even getting in to get that shot. So while he does restrict that, listen, my advice to you is to go out there and still get that, wear your mask and wash your hands.
Yeah, and just so you know, none of the companies have lifted their restriction as policy. So there's a lot of places that you'll go into, and a lot of places that you're still going to be required to wear your mask, because it's still private business. They still have the right to restrict how they want to do business, and they still have the right to ask you to wear a mask.
Yeah, so it goes into effect March the 10th. So you don't jump the gun yet. I mean, don't go out there and run down the street without your mask on. Keep that mask on. But I will say this. Here's BCB. And hey, great job, Shelley, on putting some words out on this yesterday. Today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott lifted the state mandates effective Wednesday, March the 10th of 2021, allowing businesses to return to 100% occupancy and no mandatory masks. Businesses will use their own discretion to set their health and safety practices. We must follow all local laws, regulation, and individual business measures. The coronavirus is still a threat to all. In an effort to make every person's health our priority, we are still asking all employees, customers, contractors, visitors, and guests to continue following our safety protocols to include temperature checks, social distancing, required masks until further notice. Attached is our mandated health and safety policy. Hey, great job, Shelley. So, Drive Safe, Dave, I know you heard that, all these regulations that we do here, and I know that within 30 minutes from the end of the show, you'll break all of them. It's still our policy.
It is still our policy, and I will do my best not to break all of them in 30 minutes. How's that?
You just like to break policies. Whatever the policy is, it's like you go through the book to say, what can I possibly break today?
Throw a dart on the wall, and it just got them all lined up, and I just say, this one's going down today. And just throw a dart.
Hey, we do have a couple of other things I want to hit on. First of all, we did get an update on that Frosted Flakes, right? I mean, we had it turns out that it was on its way to Hong Kong or
China,
something like that.
Yeah.
It got busted. The bust occurred in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Right.
A big hub for international shipments. You have DHL there. You have a lot of international freight forwarders there as well. It came from Peru. Okay, so here's my advice. Listen, if you're from Peru, if you're from Afghanistan, you're watching BCB Live. If you're from let's just throw one more out there.
Colombia.
Panama.
Colombia.
Listen, you're not known for being a big exporter of cereal.
Flakes.
Yeah. So if you're gonna do some smuggling, hey, think about what your country, what your export is, and maybe stick with that when we see a 10 pallets or whatever that was of cereal coming from Peru to Hong Kong. I'm just gonna go out there and say it's probably gonna raise a couple flags.
We're sending the dog over. We're sending the dog over. It's getting sniffed. I don't care if it's coming from Colombia and those places. it's getting sniffed.
It just didn't make, you know what? So when I found that part out, I'm thinking, all right, come on now, you deserve to get that. Will be on.
It's still creative. It's still creative. It's still creative, right?
I'll give that part was okay.
It's still creative.
The creative part was okay. They just didn't think
Frosted Flakes
through, right? Throwing in some banana. I don't know what cruise ship out.
Do what?
What's a Peru and exporter up?
Llamas.
I mean, I can look it up.
Llamas.
Llamas. Yeah, he's sending in some animals.
Llama fur.
But
I don't.
not cereal.
What are the?
Okay, not Frosted Flakes. So hey, also big news, and this is some sad news that comes out of California.
Oh yeah.
We had a major accident involving a semi truck and a vehicle. Dylan, you have that?
The age ranges are 16 to 55 for the injured and 20 to 55 for those that passed away. Obviously, that vehicle was not meant for that many people. It's unfortunate that number of people were put into that vehicle because there's not enough safety restraints to safely keep those people within the vehicle. There are numerous people that were ejected onto the roadway as a result of this collision. So part of our message is to make sure that we get out to our communities and make sure that safety restraints are part of the picture to save lives.
All right. So, man, you saw that right there. So, listen, the updated news says, hey, that SUV, that Ford Expedition was carrying 25 people. We're really unsure what exactly happened. From what it appears, it looks like the SUV ran possibly a stop sign, a semi-tractor, and it wasn't a 53-foot drive-in. When you go back and look at that video, it's like an end dump or double, whatever. It's pulling something else, a non-van or non-reefer piece of equipment. Hits the thing. Man, and lots of people are killed in that.
15, I think he said 15.
15 people now confirmed dead in that accident. So it's updated from the video we just saw there. 15 people dead. The ages range from 16 to, the 16 to like 30. That's where the injuries happened. Then we had so many deaths on that. They had helicopters out there, taking people away. 25 people, and so they did confirm. You heard it on the news too. It wasn't a border patrol chase anyway. We don't know what it is. I will tell you though, the city where that happened is just right across the border, say from Mexicali. So just a border town for sure on the United States, but just devastating.
And I guess it's tragic, and it shows how important that seatbelt restraints are, because so many were ejected from the vehicle during the crash. That said so many. Oh,
without a doubt, and the police officer and the trooper, I think is what he was. He did say that vehicle when you read the article that vehicle's had seat constraints for 6 people. Six.
Yeah.
And there was 25 people in there. It reminds me of, as we get into spring break, as we get into summertime just around the corner as well. But spring break, come listen. Hey, kids, and I know there's not any or many kids, but as parents, as grandparents, it's also our job to remind our kids, don't do crazy things like that. Let's see how many people we can get and get going. Don't do crazy things because, man, it's just, in an instant, life can go away,
right?
And it's heartbreaking, and especially when you see the ages from 16 to whatever, that's a lot of deaths. And again, listen, when you're out there driving, we talk about distracted driving. We just want to make sure that we're seeing everything. We talk about aim high. We talk about the Smith system. We're looking for these folks that are going to run their stop signs. You're looking for that car that's coming. They got that stop sign, but they just don't look like they're stopping.
Yeah, you've got to basically be looking for the things that are going to happen, because it's going to happen. We've watched the videos, we talk about the videos, we see the videos, and it's sure enough, what happens is the exception to the rule. It's so, as we watch the videos, the exception to the rule becomes the norm. I mean, we've seen video after video of bad things happening, ambulances falling off of trailers. I mean, you would never assume to be able to see something like that happen on a frequent basis, and we're seeing more and more and more of these strange things happening, and all it means is you have to be better and more vigilant out there on the roads every time.
So continue. You know, when you hear Buckle Up Bob, and Bob's talking about many of the the following too close, the spacing. Listen, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Smiths. We're talking about looking up ahead. We don't ever want to get involved with any of these accidents. You know, we want to avoid what we can. We want to not pass when not wait till the last second to pass a truck. All of these things we talk about, it's truly a value, and it's a value that we need, all of us, not just you listening today on the show, but those that don't listen, our fellow truck drivers. We need everybody to pay attention and to do more, to do the absolute most that we can do to save lives on the road. That's what this is all about.
We talk about it, and as you've seen, we talked about it, and this happened at an intersection, right? And our red light or a stale green light started to get better and did better, and that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about creating better habits, newer habits, and safer habits out there on the road. That's what we do every day. That's what we talk about every day, creating those new habits that make this place a better place and a safer place.
No doubt about it. Hey, Drive Safe, speaking of new habits, it's not we announced our phrase that pays on Monday, and here it is Wednesday. Can you give us that phrase that pays?
I think so. I think I can give it. It's give me just 1 second as I get ready.
You may want to taking a picture of it.
Driving a slower speed allows you the space that you need.
Okay, one more time, a little bit clearer.
Driving a slower speed allows you the space that you need.
All right, you heard it here. And listen, driving a slower speed and space. We're going to talk about it all the time. It is truly that important that we focus on all that is in our control. So many things aren't in our control. And you know what? It doesn't matter that maybe this car broke the rule, right? I mean, maybe they ran the stop. It's not any easier on that driver that ran over them. Right? It's just not any easier.
No.
And can I tell you something that's crazy? Because it kind of goes into a conversation we had last week when it came to personal conveyance or moving extra.
Okay.
What will happen no matter what right now, okay? No matter what's going to happen, that attorney is going to grab that semi-truck. Okay?
Yes.
They're going to grab those logs. And they're going to say, did this driver lie, falsify? Did this company falsify, change? Did they do anything in the last 14 days, in the last 7 days that created this? Meaning that if he would have stopped 6 days ago for his 30-minute break, and he didn't do it. She didn't do it, whoever it was.
1 minute.
They would have stopped today for them 30 minutes. It wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't have been there. That car would have crossed the road, and that truck wouldn't be there yet. Those are the things that we talk about. Those are the things that those attorneys get their hands on and make a situation like this, a sad situation, even worse, because they look at the dollar signs and they're going to go for it.
Yeah.
Was that driver supposed to be there? It's not the fault that there's 25 people in that vehicle.
And they ran
ran a stop sign. If that happened, they're looking at, was that driver where they were supposed to be? And if that answer is no, that trucking company, that insurance, whoever does that, they're in trouble. That's the world we live in right now. So when we talk about safety, when we talk about black and white, when we talk about talking to you about all the safe things, about making sure your logs are right, your pre-trips are right, that you get your 30-minute, it's that critical. That's the reason we do it. It is life-changing when we don't. These mistakes, although, many times, let's face it, there's not going to be an accident time, but when there is, they go back and they grab everything.
Yep.
So want to make sure we know that we think about all those, and that's the critical part of being safe, and the critical part of why we're so strict about what we do. That's the reason why. So hey, good stuff on that. I know we got Buckle Up Bob getting ready to walk in. Buckle Up Bob, we'll be walking in. Come on in, Buckle Up Bob. Good to see you, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Easy with Bob's rib.
Yeah, he's got a. He said. I asked him if he was going to get it removed, and he said, yeah, so he could make a better woman.
Be like Adam.
I know.
Well, I'm sitting next to.
Whoa.
That's what he said.
I don't think that's your choice.
That's what he said to me today.
Well,
But
look at y'all. Y'all kind of match as well.
and we already told that this morning.
Yeah, we were told that, and I said, "There's one big difference.
What is that?
I can tuck my shirt in."
Whoa.
Wow.
Well, it's true. I mean, it is.
I don't.
spoke
I choose
up.
not to.
Yeah, is that what it is? Oh man.
Well, Bob, you look tall today. You're sitting up. I mean, you're looking awfully. You look 6'4" up there today.
That's
So I'm
good.
gonna have to scoot my chair up, I guess.
It's more like the movie Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Actually, many of you don't remember, but I remember somebody used to accuse me of looking like Squiggy in Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, probably not
Back
a
in
good
the
thing
day.
to talk to everybody about.
No, that or what's that? My cousin Vinny. What's that guy's name?
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah.
That's not the
I
same
heard
guy.
that.
Yep, I got you.
A funny story. My favorite was I was dating this girl back when I was younger, and I was meeting her dad before a Cardinal game at a bar. So we go in there, and he says, "I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't seen it, but no lie, 3 girls came up and started hugging me and calling me. They thought I was the fighter Roberto Duran back in the day, or not." Yeah, Roberto Duran.
Oh my
I swear.
gosh! It was
I swear.
you were thought to look like Roberto?
That's
Would
what they
somebody
did.
pull a picture up of Roberto Duran,
I don't
please?
look like Roberto. I didn't say I thought I did. I'm just telling you, them girls either had to have a whole lot of liquor in them or what.
It's right here. Oh, it's Roberto. There's no chance it's not your Roberto.
Are you
Duran.
getting a picture of Roberto Duran?
telling you.
Please, I need a
I
fact
hope they
check.
got rid of them dogs that was following them or that was leading them to you or whatever.
Well, you got
no
look-
chance, Roberto Duran. I think
yeah.
you got your names mixed
There
up.
was 100 pounds difference between now and then too. So, but oh man, it was funny. I laugh at that. But yeah, he wouldn't have believed Eagles. I wouldn't believe it if I had seen it.
Wow.
But we are talking.
There's Roberto Duran.
Yep. That's what I looked like back in the day.
Y'all are pretty close to exactly the same.
Come on, Bob.
I even had a beard and a mustache
Roberto
at that
Duran's
time.
from Panama.
All
All right,
I didn't say I look like him.
He looks like you.
I'm just saying 3 girls thought it, and I wasn't going to tell them anything
who's-
different.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Who's
Hey,
to argue with the facts?
Didn't Roberto Duran beat Sugar Ray? Wasn't he the first one to beat Sugar Ray?
no, he was the one that said no mas. Sugar Ray got it the first round.
Manos
Yeah.
de piedra, right?
Yeah, he gave up.
Oh, okay. I was trying to remember because I know he fought Sugar Ray.
Yeah, he did.
Twice.
Yeah, twice.
Oh, wow.
Oh man. Hey, we are talking about tailgating, and so Rick, I heard what you're talking about, and you're right. One of the things you sent me, and it was just I read the article, and the article was based on the ELD device, but it just shows what you said. All the things that the ELD device did not lead to the accident, but that's all these people, a lot of these lawyers were focusing on. The guy had a drug history. There was bad hiring practices from the company,
Yeah.
and all this, and yet all they want to do is a lot of
So
focus
these
on
are
the
two different ones. You're talking about the one up in the Northeast.
Yes.
Is that one? But this one we're talking about was just
Now-
kind of a what's going to happen now. This was a bad accident in Mexico in California that killed. What did they say? We killed 25 people. No, there's 25 people in it, and 15 people were killed. 25 people in an SUV. But no, without a doubt, I can't think of the company up in the Northeast, but just that was bad all the way around.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it just shows that, like you said, they're going to latch on to anything and everything they
all
can.
day.
It's not just what happened in the accident. So I thought it was a great point. And we have talked about space this week. And again, it's going to be speed and space. It's going to be our theme for the entire year. The videos look pretty good. I only had, I think it was less than 10 videos above 60 miles an hour. And that's always one of the things I look for. Yeah, we can still have accidents, don't get me wrong. But boy, our speeds are coming down, which is great. And, and the reason we increase space is lack of reaction time is from tailgaters is the number one factor in why they can't avoid the accidents. And there's 950,000, almost 1 million injuries a year from tailgating accidents. So you've got many tools at preventing accident, but for me, there's 4 major ones, right? There's your alertness, right? Your vision and your alertness. There's your speed management. There's your space management. And then the 4th one is your brakes. And the difference, one of those differ from the other 3. The first 3 are proactive measures you can do to make that 4th one even more effective. So braking is a tool that prevents accident and protects life. If you use the other 3 in conjunction with brakes, your brakes are going to be more successful. They're going to be more effective because you've already slowed down. You've already increased space to give yourself some time. And yet now you still got to slam on the brakes, but you bought yourselves 2 to 3 seconds that can make the difference between fatal, non-fatal, injury, non-injury, accident, no accident. So the speed reduction is critical, but you got to use them other 3 in conjunction with it. So great point, Jeffrey. Yeah, braking is good.
Yeah, and it is without question has to be done to save lives. I will tell you that the idea behind the hard brake and what Bob's talking about, the 3 measures, is just a preventative way to slow down, to be better prepared. But there will be times, and there will be times. Don't ever be afraid to stop. Don't ever be afraid to give yourself the space you need. Don't ever be afraid to make the good decision and the good call to back off, slow down, and come to a complete stop. You're in control of that vehicle. You're the driver of the vehicle, and ultimately the decision and what you do out there on the road is yours, and you have to make the best decision possible. And if you need to stop, you need to stop. There's no question about it whatsoever. No. You are the captain of the ship, and if the ship needs to come to a stop, you get on the brakes. I mean, there are times when all Bob's trying to tell you in the 3 other measures is that you're doing everything you can to not have to hard brake, right?
Absolutely.
So you're coming into these situations a little slower, or a little bit more space, or a little bit better. But there will be times when people cut you off, when accidents happen, when stuff comes into the road, when it comes, you will and you must hit the brake, and you must hit it hard because you got to come to a stop.
Absolutely right. And it's pay attention to science. That's like Sir Rick said, we give you this information so that you can be better. And if we give you the facts that, hey, the hard brakes, 95% of them happen at intersections, traffic lights.
Right.
4 more, the next 3 to 4% are at the merge points. So these 2 areas cover 98%. And what we're seeing from our drivers is you start to slow down. Okay. And that's so that you can be able to stop and avoid that accident. So
absolutely.
It's all tools that you put in your toolbox that you can use to protect lives. So absolutely right. Don't be afraid to hard brake. It's a tool. What we're saying is when we have the hard brake and we look at the videos, like we seen when we first started this, we seen the light change and we don't slow down for 3 or 4 seconds.
Right.
Or there's traffic stop of the taillights and now we're seeing that immediate slowdown. And that's the thing you got to take from the hard brakes are good. And what we've really found with the cameras, before we had the cameras, the hard brakes pretty much said you were guilty. Always. You were just falling too close. That's why you had the hard brake.
Right.
What we found with the cameras is it actually exonerates 95% of the drivers.
No doubt about it.
They're not doing anything wrong. They're actually being safe out there with the hard brakes.
2 callers. Who do we have?
Yeah, we got Alan Arnold, and then we have Tommy Miles. What do you got for us, guys?
Hey, good morning, y'all.
Good morning,
Alan.
Mr. Bob, I got a couple things here for you. Can you get with Mr. Krause and go over the sleeper berth split? He got confirmation yesterday on everything. We had a discussion yesterday evening on it. And the second thing is, Mr. Bob, if I do everything correctly this quarter, will you buy me a pony?
Will I buy you a pony?
Yeah,
No.
if I do everything correctly. Oh,
No, I'll take you to St. Louis and we'll look at the real horses, the Clydesdales.
yeah.
I get him a pony, Bob.
You get him a pony?
We'll get you one of them My Little Ponies.
There you
I
go.
don't know how that'll look.
Yeah.
We'll get you a My
The
Little
t-shirt.
Pony.
Yeah, you might have to turn in your man card, but
That'd be like an elephant sitting on a peanut, right?
yeah.
All
Tommy,
right.
what's up, Tommy?
T-Miles.
So yeah, I didn't hit my emergency button this morning. I was headed over to Sealed Air in Saddlebrook. I'm coming up on this car with his flashers going in. Something huge on the top of this Toyota Prius. They had literally loaded a sofa and a love seat on top of the Prius sideways and had it strapped down.
You got a video of that? Did you get the?
No, I did not.
Oh.
Too busy,
Being safe.
Being safe.
Just saying it.
Avoiding those folks. You know,
That is crazy.
that's crazy. And when you see it, and they talk about this, some of the most dangerous accidents with when people move are when they're moving mattresses. When you see a mattress in the back of a pickup truck, you know, people just, I don't think they think how much wind's going to get underneath that thing. How many mattresses you see on the side of the road as well.
Yes.
Dangerous. I mean, a mattress comes at you, you're not going to see much.
Okay, so my wife and I on.
See, I thought it was Dave Dover moving service.
I'll tell you what, my wife and I we were going to dinner on Saturday, and sure enough, there was a car pulling a mattress, and there was a guy laying on top of the mattress to try to hold it down while he was going down the highway. And I was like going, and they were doing about 35 miles an hour, and he was holding on to the car. I got it. I'm laying. I've got my whole body. My body weight's gonna hold this mattress bad when the wind gets under it. I said, that right there, we'll read about that guy right there. You know, because if I don't know, that's just not smart.
All right.
Who's
Do we have
next?
anybody else?
Yeah, we got Justin Hayes and then CJ.
All right. Mr. Hayes, talk to us.
Hey, Bob, have you ever seen them Clydesdales?
Yes.
Like live? I was
Yep.
going to say, I have to have Jeanette send you a picture. We were pulling into a truck stop, and 4 of the Budweiser trucks were parked out back. They left the doors open to the trailer. So Jeanette literally jumps out of my truck while I go find a parking spot. I walk over there, and I'm like, Marco, and I hear, Polo. I'm like, where in the hell is she at? She is inside the Budweiser trailer petting the horses.
They are gorgeous animals.
They are humongous. And she's like, jump up here and pet it. And I'm like, dude, that thing's so big it could eat me for lunch. I'm good. I'll stand right down here. But she's got pictures of it sticking its tongue out at her. And I mean, she had a blast.
Hey, I got a safety question. You said she jumped out of the truck, so I'm assuming no 3-point contact?
Probably not. Probably not. I think I was even still rolling.
They're the Clydesdales.
They were the Clydesdales.
Beer truck. It was a beer truck.
This was before she started driving, too. I think I was working for Southeast Carriers as a solo driver back then.
Yeah, horses are beautiful anyway, but them Clydesdales are something else.
CJ, what's going on, buddy?
Good morning, BCB.
Good morning,
Morning.
CJ. I guess you heard about your sign that got ran over by an outside carrier, right?
Yes, I did. I was ready to order a 3x5 and give me some 6-inch oil fill pipe and concrete it in the ground and fix it where if they did tear it up, they're going to tear up some darn equipment.
Let me tell you, he not only tore up your sign, but he broke the rocks. I mean, his trailer went over all of those rocks and broke them, and we had to clean those up as well.
I've seen that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm calling about is very important. If I can help y'all, I will. Let me let you know something. This Volvo is sitting real low to the ground. Now, if you come in, then y'all heard me say that the only reason I go to truck stops is take a shower and get fuel. But it snowed a while back up in Carlisle, and we stuck that Love's right off y'all know what I'm talking about, that Love's up there in Carlisle. The parking lot was full of snow, and I nosed in and set my brakes and got off the foot brake when I set my brakes, and there was a little, 3-second hesitation for the brakes to set. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is my spoiler. I rode forward towards that curve, and it's like a 5-inch curve, and I cracked my spoiler under my front bumper. And when I cracked it, I caused damage to a box underneath the passenger headlight. There's a little square cube box, 12-inch by 12-inch by 12-inch. Inside that little cube box that's bolted into the bumper holds a little 12-volt running light. And it cost the boss man a pretty good chunk of change just for that $3.99 bulb. Loves had to go over to Volvo and get this box that was cracked because moisture got up in that box, and moisture electricity does not mix. You know that. And it caused that bulb to fry. And if they just would have changed the bulb again and left the box not changed out, it would have happened again by moisture getting in that box. What I'm trying to say is, guys, the Volvos are real low. From now on, it won't happen again. I will stop 2 foot before I get to the curb. I'll just let my 53-foot drive box stick out there in the parking lot an extra 4 or 5 foot. I'd rather have them hit my trailer than hit my nose. That's what I'm getting at. Anyway, other than that, I'm happy to be back, man. I'll tell you what, I was bored to death up there in that snowstorm up there in Oklahoma. I took 7 days off, and then I ended up taking another 7 days off. I couldn't get back to work, but I'm happy to get back to work. Right now, I'm sitting here at Supply 1, and Leonard and the rest of them are trying to find me an empty. Empties are hard to come by right now, ain't they?
They can be.
Yeah,
they can be. Just depends on where you are and what you got going on. We got to get the freight off of the trailers, and then we'll have it empty. But it's good to know that we got freight on trailers. That's good stuff, right?
Yes, sir. Well, I'm at the dog food place over there, Prina, Oklahoma City, and we rode around and couldn't find one. We even had some helpers at work there trying to find one. Wasn't one there. I ate up about an hour and a half of my drive time riding around, and then I was told to come over here to Supply 1. We got here like at 5:30 this morning, and there wasn't one, so I just went to bed. I just got aggravated and said, hey, I'm going to bed. And so I went to bed and got up now, and the lady's here, and she was real rude to my wife. She said she told her that there ain't no empties here, and there ain't going to be none, and so you just say, get on out of here. Wow. Quote, unquote. Quote, unquote. That's what this lady that works here that drives that little yard jockey. There ain't one here. There ain't gonna be one. So get on out of here.
All right, you heard it first from CJ there, folks. Thank you, CJ, and hey, operations, find that guy an empty trailer. But this is just another thing that happens when bad weather hits. Hey, guess what? People can't get in to unload trailers,
right?
And all of a sudden, the trailers are just loaded all over the place, and they weren't able to ship out.
Right.
You know, the same thing. So now their warehouse is packed, and they have nowhere to go. It gets gridlocked, and that's what we're going through right now. So, hey, have a little patience, and it's frustrating for everybody. That lady, that quote-unquoted lady, you know, she's probably dealing with that all day. You know, she's going through that. Yeah.
How many people you think? How many people you think asked her for an empty that day?
Absolutely. CJ might have been the 30th, and she's like, all right.
You might have been the 100th person.
So, hey, be patient. You know what? When we come across people like that, that's another opportunity just to say a little prayer.
Yeah,
and say thank you.
Yes. You know, put a smile on their face.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then find a way to do that. Thank you, CJ, for that. We appreciate you. Buckle up, Bob. And it is time for
Pache R.
Good morning, Miss Christie.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. What's going on with you today, Miss Christie?
Good. Just wanted to say I did look into that tax extension that we were speaking about yesterday. And it looks as of right now, it has been extended for Texas and Oklahoma because of the weather disaster. So that has been extended to June 15th for Texas and Oklahoma. Other than that, I have not seen it for any other state. Doesn't mean that it can't still happen. But as of right now, if you're not from Texas or Oklahoma, you do still need to adhere by that April 15th deadline for your taxes. But Texas and Oklahoma is June 15th. And as Sir Rick mentioned earlier, Ms. Shelley sent out an email about the mask mandate. I know lots of people are very excited about that being lifted, but we still do need to follow business regulations and their measures. And as he said, we will still be requiring all of our guests and visitors, contractors, customers to wear masks in the building, do the temperature checks, continue to social distance. Please remember that mandate, that was lifted is for the state of Texas, that it wasn't, all states. I have seen that people are saying other states are following, but, what we know as of now is for Texas. So we do still need to follow all of that. It does take effect next Wednesday, and we will, do our best to stay on top of that and bring you updates as we hear of them. But for now, please do not show up without a mask, especially to our customers and inside of our building. We still do need to continue to follow those guidelines. And even when the masks are gone, please just do your part to still wash your hands as often as possible, use your antibacterial, all those same safety measures that you would use normally, so that we can continue to get those numbers to go down. I do know, as far as the registration, just a reminder again, if you're wanting to get registered for that vaccine, you can go to your county's public health site and get registered there. I do know they're trying to get more vaccinations. Abbott's hope is that within the few months, everyone in Texas that wants to be vaccinated will hopefully already have the supply and get that done. I can say I've been registered since January 7th, still on that wait list, but I did get an update yesterday, just confirming, hey, your name's still here. You're on the list, and hopefully soon I'll be able to go in and get that done. So all we can do is do our part, and we appreciate everyone doing that. And today, no company birthdays or anniversaries. I know Big Blue does like to hear other birthdays out in the world. So there is one for Herschel Walker. He's 59 years old today. And also Alexander Graham Bell's birthday was today.
Greatest cowboy trade of all time.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Christie. Anything else?
That's all. Everyone just stay safe and have a great day. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And yeah, Herschel Walker, probably the
greatest trade of all time.
The greatest cowboy of all time because of that trade, right?
Exactly.
I mean, got us many a championship. Thank you, Herschel. Question, who do we have out there?
Yeah, we got Alan Arnold. What do you have for us this morning?
Hey, Mr. Dave, I just sent y'all 3 pictures to BCB Live. If you can look at those, it's going to show you something that we need to look at on trailers, okay? And those come from a driver I know. That's his trailer. And now the axle is completely shot because of it. So it's something we need to look at when we're looking at brakes and, tires and everything else. It's pretty costly, pretty dangerous. And I was kind of pissed off at him because of the way he put the bungee cord in there to hold it up till he got to Laredo from Massachusetts. So just take a look at it, would you?
You will do. Thank you, Alan.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Hey, I got a question for you, Sir Rick, and I don't know. In the governor's, and I was trying to read up on it a little bit, but they're going to open up 100%, right? Basically on Wednesday. Does that mean the bar's open?
Everything. Anybody who wants to open will be free to open up.
Oh.
Yep. So the businesses can still have their own rules, regulations in place. So us, for example, we can do 100%. We don't have, but we're going to go with the mask still, and yeah, so
maintain
Studio 80, it'll be open. Again, the bars, the restaurants, they have the ability to be at 100%. Will they? I mean, that's up to each and every one of them.
Right.
But yeah, me, for one, I'm wearing my mask. I don't know if the mask ever goes away. I've gotten used to it now. It's been a year.
Yeah.
We've worn the mask for a year. And you know what? I think I've gained a couple pounds because of it. You'd think you would think I would not eat as much with my mask on, but I still have many. So I'm thinking the mask has something to do with my weight gain. So I'm going to keep working on that side right there. Wow. But no, listen, we've got to still do our part. You out there driving trucks, listen, we want you to still maintain your safety, maintain your distance, maintain, it's not over yet. It's not over at all. It's still real. It's still out there. Let's not pretend that as we open up states. And I think for me, it's a pretty aggressive move. it's aggressive because let's face it, and maybe it's because of spring breaks around the corner. Maybe that's a good time to do it right now to get a good boost to that economy. Come to Texas. So let's go to Port Aransas, South Padre Island. Hey, we're open. Everything's open. Life's good again. Maybe it will do a quick boost to the economy, but what's going to happen, to the hospitals? I mean, who knows? But last year during the spring break, that's when we had the big, that was the first big super spreaders, right? All the kids.
Right.
And how many of these kids have gotten shots? None of them. No, not many.
None of them.
I mean, I don't know many people that have gotten it myself. Again, that's my worry. But you know what? Inside the office, we're going to wear the mask. Probably many places you're going to wear the mask. When you go grocery shopping, wear the mask. Right. Just do it. Keep your distance. Just follow the same protocols that we had before. Listen, if you haven't had COVID yet, then you're doing something right. Don't go against it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, exactly.
And if you have COVID, or you've had it, I mean, listen, we still have others out there that haven't had it. We don't want everybody to get it.
Plexiglass is here to stay.
I think so.
I do too.
I do think so. We have a question?
I was just going to comment on some stuff. So I also think that the masks are probably going to stick around to stay. I don't think the spring break, like doing it right before spring break, is necessarily a good idea because you are going to have a lot of the college kids who are going to go out and take it.
Is it an economic stimulus? Is it to get that economy going? We talked about Miami yesterday, right?
Yeah, but even still, it just seems kind of dangerous. And then also, I do have those pictures that Alan Arnold had just sent in. So if we wouldn't want to pull those up, we can look at them as well. So
we can, if you want. I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't know the trailer and I don't know what's going on, but it definitely shows a slack adjuster busted off. And from what I can see, I can't.
Hey, just some things too, as they're going over that, looking at these things. I want you to know, BCB Live is starting to take on its own little action, its own little show. I mean, not only do we have the different cameras that we're able to do, listen, we're going to find a way to keep this show going throughout the day. We're going to have different segments on here. And when I see this right here, it just makes me think that, we're not far away from having a preventative maintenance section on it where we're calling and we're addressing issues real live at the time, going over things all the time, because we've got to stay on top of our maintenance. We can't do things like this. We've got to make sure that we're doing our part. We have to educate, right? We have to continue to educate one another on safety. We have to make sure that when you raise your hand that there's something wrong with your equipment, that we're also addressing it and fixing it on our end. This isn't a you thing. This is a we thing. We've got to be the very best at everything we do.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. I saw that has to be addressed immediately. Anytime that you have equipment that is malfunctioning, anytime that you have equipment that needs to be repaired immediately, that takes precedent over the load. That takes precedent over the delivery. That takes precedent over everything, because that has to be fixed immediately and it has to be addressed immediately. You have to call in, you have to communicate, we have to get it taken in and get it worked on right away. That right there compromises the safety of you and the safety of everybody else on the road. So that just has to be addressed 100% immediately.
All right. Any questions, comments? Nope. All right. Hey, drive safe. Why don't you end this with a prayer and we'll close the show out for the day.
All right. Dear Heavenly Father, we humbly gather before you today to ask for your grace in all things. Father, we come to you to ask for your forgiveness for the things that we did not do well today and the things that we haven't done well. But we also ask the strength to do better. We ask for the courage to do better and the wisdom to better. We ask to be able to do these things in your name, to go out and do your will upon the world. Father, we also ask that you protect and watch over our drivers as they go forth and do their job today in the most difficult of situations, the open road. Father, we ask that you give them the ability to make great decisions, the ability to know what to do and when to do it. Father, we also ask that you watch over their families and everyone around and give them the comfort them if they need to be comforted. Father, we ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Y'all be good. We'll see you this afternoon. Bye-bye.